hello again everyone. For those of you who weren't able to join us last time, my name is Chloe and I'm the Creative Director at Audience. Who are Audience? Well, we're a digital marketing agency that specialises in search, social and creative. We work specifically with small to medium-sized businesses from across the UK and help them to grow their audience and boost their businesses. This is part 2 of a 3-part webinar series. Last time we covered search and spoke about getting your business found online using PPC, SEO and CRO, but don't worry if you missed it, you'll find a recording of the session on both the Intelligent Knowledge Hub and the Amplify section of our website too. This week, we're bringing you the ultimate social media guide for small businesses, and we'll be covering how to structure your organic socials to get in front of the right people, how you can use paid social media to your advantage, and lastly, just a little bit about brand ambassadors and what they're all about. Ready? Great, let's get stuck straight into it with organic social media. Now, the average adult spends over 2 hours a day on social media. I personally am a sucker for socials, and when I checked my screen time last week, I'd spent a total of 14 hours on social media apps. So with billions of users across the top platforms, it's easy to see why social media has become such an important aspect for small businesses. That being said, there are loads of different platforms out there that all target different demographics of people and thrive using different types of content. And this is why having a solid organic social media strategy is the key to ensuring you're showing off your business in the right places to the right people. Now, here's the strategy that my team here at Audience actually deploy when they're working with social media clients. Step 1, choose the right platforms. As I just mentioned, there are a number of big players when it comes to social media platforms. Maintaining a solid social presence across multiple accounts is a full-time job in itself. Trust us, we've got an entire department dedicated to it. And this means that if you're running your social media accounts yourself, trying to maintain a presence on all of them may leave you spread just too thin. Instead, try to focus on getting 1 or 2 profiles in tip-top shape based on where your target audience are and what you're trying to achieve. So to get you started, let's run through some of the larger social media platforms and different types of users they attract. Facebook. You no doubt knew this one was coming. Facebook has more than 2.85 billion monthly active users. So that's the entire population of the UK times by 42. Whilst Facebook is still being used by younger generations, nowadays its largest demographic tends to be folks over the age of 35. It's a community-led platform, so it's a great place for you to engage with your customers directly. And it's also becoming the go-to place for reviews and recommendations. So having your business on here can be a great way of letting people know who you are. Facebook also has a number of other features that businesses can take advantage of, including Facebook Shops, events, and possibly the most established of all the social media platforms, ad platforms. But we'll come into that in a bit more detail later. Instagram. Instagram has about 1 billion active users and around 70% of these are under the age of 35. With Instagram, it's all about the aesthetic, so it's the perfect platform if you're selling beautiful products, make delicious food, or even offer a service that can be complemented by some great images and graphics. There are 3 main ways to interact with your audience on Instagram. The first is through your feed, and this is the classic Instagram view where you can share images or short videos. The key is to post content that's pleasing to the eye and that your followers are going to want to see regularly. The second type is an increasingly popular stories function. Now, stories are made up of images or videos that will only show on your profile for 24 hours. And the great thing about them is that they can be super interactive, as you can include questions, quizzes, polls, and even reaction sliders on them. And the last type of Instagram content is IGTV, which allows you to show off longer videos with content that can tell your story. Twitter. Have a guess, what's the main demographic of Twitter users? The answer might actually surprise you. The majority of Twitter users are actually aged between 35 and 65, and people come to the platform as a way to engage with brands directly. In fact, because of this, a lot of big businesses will set up dedicated customer service accounts on Twitter, so that their customers can come to them with any queries or issues directly and have them resolved ASAP. So this means if you're keen to have that level of direct communication and want to show your customers that you care, Twitter is probably the platform for you. And thanks to the fast-moving pace of Twitter, it also makes it a great place to jump on and contribute to current trends. If anyone remembers the baked beans and Weetabix fiasco that happened a while back, or a certain caterpillar-shaped cake that caused some havoc, both of these kicked off on Twitter. So if you're ready to react quickly and want the chance to go viral, it might just be the place for you. LinkedIn. If your business is mostly focused on B2B sales, then LinkedIn is probably the place for you to be. This site has a considerable number of members, standing at around 467 million users, and is a fantastic place to network, connect with other people in your industry, and it can also be a brilliant place to find new members of staff to hire, actually. What's interesting about LinkedIn is that 43% of its members are in a decision-making role. So if you're looking to promote your services or products to other businesses, I can't personally think of a better place. TikTok. TikTok is where Gen Z are hanging out right now. So if you're looking for customers aged between 18 and 24, this is where you should start. The app is great for trends and popular hashtags, meaning if you're ready to get creative, it can be a great way of getting your business viral. While sponsored TikTok content does exist, their platform is primed for helping good content get seen. So try keeping up with current trends and using viral sounds, and your videos will surely get in front of the right people. A number of businesses have already seen great success on the platform, with big brands like Ryanair and Innocence Movies totting up millions of video views. Smaller businesses are also finding themselves thriving too, with product sellers, hairdressers, makeup artists, and even dog groomers sharing hilarious customer interactions and building up a huge following. Right, you've decided on what platforms to focus on, so now what? The second hurdle we see a lot of small businesses fall down on is the type of content that they're posting. And that's where our 4 pillars of social content come in. Pillar 1, sell. Your sell post should show off your products and services, including direct call to actions and links to your website. Normally, when we start working with a client's social media, these posts are pretty much all that they're using. Whilst they're important, your audience isn't going to follow you just to be sold to all the time, and that's why these other types of content that I'll speak about now are also very important. Pillar 2, inform. Your informative post should be made up of tips, advice, useful reminders, and industry-relevant guidance. Make yourself really helpful, and you'll be making your content really valuable at the same time. Pillar 3, care. Your care posts are there to empathise with your customers' pain points. They make you relatable and help to build up a connection with your audience. You've probably heard of memes. Well, these work great as care posts, especially if they're relevant to your industry. Pillar 4, share. The last of our 4 pillars, share posts give you the opportunity to show your opinion and make your voice heard. You could do this by sharing recent news articles and commenting with your thoughts, for example. Now, with these 4 types of posts, your social media feeds will soon be relatable, valuable, and full of personality. What more could your customers want from you? Okay, you've picked your platforms and you know what type of content you're going to use. Here are just a few more quick social media tips that you should follow to make the most of your organic social media. 1, use a content calendar. A content calendar is a great way for you to keep track of what's being posted when, and making sure your posts flow in a way that makes sense and looks good. 2, create and schedule your posts in bulk. Rather than spending a couple of hours a week on your social media content, you might find it more beneficial to put aside a full day once a month to plan out and schedule the next 4 weeks. 3, post regularly, not constantly. You don't need to post 3 times a day to get noticed. In fact, if you're posting too often, this might actually go against you. Posting 3 to 4 times a week is our recommended sweet spot for post volume. 4, optimize your post time. If you're always scheduling your posts at 9 AM but don't get any likes, it might be time to mix things up a bit. trial different days and times to post, and observe to see what gets the highest rates of engagement. Phew, I feel like I've been talking for a while now. How would you feel about hearing from someone else for a bit? Lucy, how would you like to talk us through using paid social media for businesses?
Sure thing. Hey guys, it's Lucy here. I guess you can call me the social media whiz kid of audience. So, paid social, where do we start? First of all, what is paid social media? Paid social media, or social media advertising, is a chance for you to promote your products or services on social media platforms. The great thing about it is the amount of time users spend using these platforms means there's a plethora of data available about your potential customers. This means that you can be super targeted with who you're showing your ads to. Social media marketing can also take many forms, from images to videos and even pairing up with brand ambassadors. This means you can take the time to try out different methods and see what works best for you in your business. All of the social media platforms that Chloe mentioned earlier do all offer some sort of paid promotion, but today I thought we'd focus on the most established of them all, which is Facebook. Facebook has got the widest range of potential ad types, so let's go through a few of them. Single image adverts. Single image adverts are just that. You can pick an image alongside some text and promote it across your audience's newsfeed. In a study by Facebook, single image ads outperformed any other type of advertisement with 75% more unique traffic. Video ads. These work in the same way as single image adverts, with short, snappy videos, as the name suggests. Carousel ads. Carousel ads include a range of images in one scrolling advert. This makes them perfect if you're wanting to promote a new product range. Messenger ads. These adverts feature in the Messenger app amongst people's conversations. You can send out these ads to targeted users to show up in the app again and again to remind them of your brand and service. So that's just to name a few. The best ad type will depend on your individual circumstances, so the best thing to do is just test things out. We recommend running a couple of different ads and monitoring the results that you get. Keep the best type of ad running and then set up another competitor. Rinse and repeat until you get results that you're happy with. The best part about ads that you run on Facebook is that you can also run them on Instagram. Your Facebook and Instagram ads can be managed through Facebook's super useful business manager. Your Instagram ads will be shown as either part of a feed or on stories, blending seamlessly into your audience's social media browsing. So what are my top tips for paid social media marketing in general? Understand your goals. Knowing what you want from your paid social media strategy is key to ensuring you succeed. Are you looking for more followers? Maybe you're keen to drive traffic to your website. Think about what you want before you get started. Knowing your audience. The beauty of social media marketing is it can be really targeted. Make sure you have your target audience crystal clear in your mind so you know who you're going after. Choose your platform. Every social media platform offers promotion in different ways. This means once you've decided which ones you'd like to go for, you should treat them more uniquely. This really isn't a one-size-fits-all model. Be flexible. A great way to succeed on social media is to be flexible. You should be able and willing to make changes to optimize your ads to make sure you're getting the absolute best return on investment. So, there's a bit of a crash course on what paid social involves and the different solutions out there for you. There is one last thing I want to touch on when it comes to paid social media, and it's brand ambassadors. A brand ambassador, or influencer, is essentially a social media user with a significant following that businesses use to promote their products or services. They can be a great way of tapping into your target audience, quickly and directly. Using a brand ambassador with a following that aligns closely to your target market can not only help you promote what you do, but can also build a level of trust. Think about it. The user is well known within their space, their followers are likely to hold them in a high regard, and then if they see this person using your products or talking highly of your business, they're going to take that at face value. Instagram is the most popular place for influencer marketing, but you'll also find them on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and even LinkedIn. Here's a step-by-step strategy of how to get started when it comes to working with a brand ambassador. Choose the right influencer. The influencer you work with should align with your brand's ethos, values, and style. Don't get stuck on numbers. A high follower count shouldn't be your main focus. A content creator with a smaller amount of followers made up of your ideal target market is much more valuable than one with hundreds of thousands of followers that are less in line with what you're looking for. Provide a detailed brief. To make sure you're getting the best out of your influencer campaign, you should provide a brief that's thorough and in-depth. This should include the type of images you're after, the number of posts, copy guidelines, and even hashtags that you'd like them to use. Set a timeline. When working with a brand ambassador, you should make sure your timeline is set in stone. This means you should agree on deadlines when you expect things to be posted so that everyone is singing from the same hymn sheet. And there you have it. Follow these top tips and you'll have the perfect brand ambassador backing your business in no time. Well, I think that's it from me. Chloe, can I pass back to you?
Sure thing. Thanks, Lucy. There we go. You've learnt how to optimise your organic social feeds, what paid social marketing can do for you, and even delved into the world of brand ambassadors. As I mentioned right at the start, maintaining a presence on social media can be really time consuming, so focusing on one platform at a time is the best way to ensure you're maximising your reach. Alternatively, why not hire a team of social media experts to handle it all for you? The team here at Audience will spend time understanding you and your business so that you can see them as your in-house team. They'll work closely with you to produce engaging, on-brand content and pull together successful campaigns that turn clicks into customers. Still unsure? Well, we're currently offering a completely free, no obligation marketing review where we'll take a look at your business's marketing and highlight some areas we recommend you work on. So head on over to getaudience.co.uk or drop an email to me at chloe.byrne@getaudience.co.uk to get some more info. I'm going to hand back over to Mark now, where we'll be joining him real time to dive into some of the questions you guys have had.
Great, thanks very much for that, Chloe. And as I'm very clearly joined by Chloe now, as always when we're doing the webinars, we get inundated with questions. So I try and cover as many of these. I've tried to group them all together. So hopefully everyone's questions will all be answered. And as always, if not, you can get in touch with Chloe or myself afterwards, and we get back with absolutely everybody who gets in touch. So thanks for that, Chloe. So there's a number of bits here that people have asked questions about, primarily around ideas and creativity, helping you stand out, and a really good one about scheduling, which we've had from easily half a dozen people as well. So the first one, ideas. Where do they come from?
Yeah, so I think it's all about just taking inspiration from other people around you in your space. If you see something that's working really well for a competitor, maybe try doing something similar yourself, but elevating it so that you're not just copying what people are doing around you. Yeah. The beautiful thing about social media is it is a shared platform. So if you do see something that you think's working really well, you can share it yourself without actually creating that post. Yeah. You see it loads of times where things go viral and brands can jump on, and it works really well. For example, with the Heinz baked bean thing and Weetabix. I don't know if you remember that a while ago. Weetabix shared this tweet about why should bread have all the glory, why not have Weetabix with your baked beans, and all these different brands, big and small, were jumping on and tweeting about it as well. And it just goes to show how one person's post can snowball. So look around for some inspiration would be my recommendation.
And what you've said there as well, with you start with a good idea, but there's people bouncing off each other, make it a bit organic. Yeah. And I think I've heard elsewhere the worst idea in the world is when a marketing director says, run a viral campaign. You just can't do it, right?
Can't predict these things, unfortunately.
Absolutely, no. Brilliant, thank you. That was so Jackie was top of the list of people that asked for that. So Jackie, I hope that answered your question. And by all means, get in touch if you want us to expand on that. Question here from Vanessa. A lot of questions from the ladies today. When you've created the post, you've got your idea. How actually creating something that stands out and is super engaging. And anything you'd advise on that?
There are loads of tools out there that make it really simple for you to create posts and make them really aesthetically pleasing, include your branding in there. There's a free tool that Canva offers actually, where you can add your own logos, you have access to free stock photos, and you can upgrade to a paid service for a little bit extra. And they've got a few templates that are pretty easy to use as well. So if you are really stumped for ideas, you're not really that creatively minded, you can go in and take advantage of those, and they're going to look great, and they're going to look unique as well, which is the main thing.
Absolutely brilliant. And actually that was one of the questions here someone has asked about templates. So is that when you've got a lot of a lot of them do kind of a free service, don't they? There's like a freemium bit, and then you can pay the extra bit. So
Yeah.
there's usually a few templates in there you can choose to get you started.
Yeah, there'll be a few free templates in there, even some free stock images that you can take advantage of.
Oh, that's useful.
So plenty you can access before you're hitting a paid level if you are sort of a smaller business just starting out, definitely.
Brilliant. Sorry, I'm sitting here making notes myself. Okay, and so we've got the idea, we've got our templates, we've got it created. Now, one of the things you spoke about was, you know, and I've heard this a lot of places, people talk about like a drumbeat or a steady, regular messaging. There's peak times to get the messaging out.
Definitely.
So you've got your peak times, you've got lots of messages, you've got lots of routes to market in different social media, as you spoke about, does different things for different people. But I'm a small business.
Yeah.
How do I find the time to do this without turning myself into, you know, doing marketing all the time and not actually running my business?
Yeah, so the best thing to do is probably to create and then schedule in bulk, and there are loads of different ways you can do that. Each of the social media platforms will probably have their own scheduler, their own sort of native scheduling platform. So if you're only using one or two, you could always just go and do it, you know, directly through Facebook or Twitter or whatever. But if you've got a few that you're juggling, there are tools out there that you can use, again, that will schedule in bulk for different platforms at the same time. To name a couple, you've got Hootsuite. There's also a tool called Meltwater or Mention, and all of these give you the ability to upload all your posts, schedule them for the ideal time, and you can also monitor your responses and replies in them as well. So really, really super useful. Okay,
so getting all your answers in one place.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think I know from the stuff we've spoken about before. That's the issue is then you're going from which campaign was that? So I'm going to Facebook. I'm going to okay, brilliant. So Hootsuite I'm super familiar with, but good to know there's others in the market as well. Sanjita, hopefully that answers your question. Great question, because dozens of people were asking variations of that. So fantastic. You won't thank me for this. I'm going to put you on the spot a bit now, but from your own experience and campaigns that you've done, what's been your favourite example that's kind of pulled all this together? It's got the idea. Template looked great, engagement was brilliant, and you know it worked because your audience, our audience, absolutely loved it. Over to you.
Oh, that's a really hard question. That is putting me on the spot. So we ran a campaign quite recently with a food hall over in Harrogate called Wheaton's. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Yep, Wheaton's.
And they were
good
wanting
sausage
to
rolls.
Great sausage rolls, really great sausage rolls. And they were wanting to promote their sort of new summer barbecue campaign and introduce some new followers to their sites. And so we organised a bit of like a hamper giveaway prize for them. So we got that posted. We got, and I'm not exaggerating, thousands of likes, thousands of entries, thousands of comments. And their followers went through the roof. And the great thing about it is they've stayed following as well.
Brilliant.
They're still engaging with all their posts. So that's probably the standout post that I've done recently for a client that I think worked really well.
Excellent. So absolutely fantastic. So that was the perfect storm. Idea was great.
Yeah.
Execution was great. Nice offer. Nice engagement. People feel like they're getting something out of it.
Definitely.
I'm sure you scheduled it beautifully with, through Hootsuite, Mention, and other brands are available. And it's fantastic. And I actually saw that campaign because it did come up on my timeline as well. So absolutely superb.
Reaching the right people.
Absolutely fantastic. Chloe, as always, dropping knowledge bombs all through that. Thank you to everyone for firing in the questions. Brilliant questions, and sorry for putting you on the spot as always, but people want to know. Fantastic. And Chloe, we're obviously doing a third part of this series. What are we going to be looking at next?
So next, it'll be in 2 weeks' time, 2 weeks today, and we'll be looking at the creative side of marketing. So a little bit more about branding, how you can make things like explainer videos, and then also touching a little bit on things like copywriting, PR, anything creative related we'll be covering. So keep an eye out on your inboxes for the invites. That'll be 2 weeks from today. Absolutely
fantastic. Explainer videos, I think phenomenal. You know, we see so much, certainly when we use our own intelligent, when we send it out to people, and people are like, great, watched it, get it, thanks very much. Really, really good for both customer and for us. So really look forward to that. It's really a deep dive then on some of the issues we've looked at so far. Yeah, definitely. It should be really interesting. Last of the three, so hopefully save the best for last. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Thanks very much, Chloe. As always, please keep the questions coming in. They're absolutely fantastic. We know that people say, I was going to ask that, but I didn't, and then somebody else does, and obviously it means we're getting extra value. Thanks again as well to Chloe. As always, thanks for everybody for watching. Really enjoy your feedback, and have a fantastic week. Thanks very much. Thank you. Bye.